We've all been there. Those moments when life feels, well, less like a calm journey and more like a storm that you've been tossed right into the middle of. The real question isn't if those moments will hit, but how we find our footing when they do. And that's exactly what we're going to get into. Finding that stability when everything around you feels completely unsteady. I mean, have you ever felt that? Just completely lost? Being tossed around by things that are way outside of your control? It's such a universal human feeling, and honestly, it's the perfect place for us to start this whole conversation. Okay, so before we can even talk about finding our footing, we kind of have to get real about what we're up against. What are these storms we're talking about? Let's just call them what they are. Those turbulent waters of challenge and uncertainty that can pop up anywhere at any time in our lives. And a storm, it's not just some abstract idea, right? It's real. It's the gut punch of a diagnosis you never, ever saw coming. It's the ground completely vanishing from under your feet when you suddenly lose your job, or a personal crisis that just leaves you spinning. It's that heavy, suffocating feeling of not knowing what's next. And really, if you boil it all down, it comes back to one core feeling, just chaos. It's that sense of being totally overwhelmed, like your internal compass is just spinning wildly and you have absolutely no idea which way is north anymore. All right, so we've kind of laid out the problem. We know what that storm feels like. But what's the answer? This is where we shift our focus. We're going to move from talking about the storm to talking about the anchor, from the chaos to the source of stability we can all find. Here's a really simple but powerful truth. Life guarantees storms. It just does. Nobody gets a free pass on this one. They are an inevitable, unavoidable part of being human. But, and this is the part that changes everything, while the storms are a given, being thrown completely off course, that's not. This is the moment we realize we have some power, a choice, even when everything else feels totally out of our control. So where does that power come from? Well, let's use the word faith, but maybe not in the way you're thinking. This isn't about one specific belief system. For our purposes here, faith is just a steadfast belief or trust, whether that's in a higher power, in your own resilience, in a set of values you hold dear, that gives you a solid foundation no matter what is raging around you. Faith is the anchor that holds when the winds of life blow their fiercest. Just picture that for a second. The winds are absolutely howling. The boat is rocking like crazy, but deep down, below the surface, that anchor is holding you fast. It's not stopping the wind, but it's keeping you from being swept away. Okay, so it's one thing to know you have an anchor. That's great, but knowing how to actually use it when the waves are crashing down on you, that's everything. So let's get practical. How do you actually do this? It really comes down to 3 basic steps. First, acknowledge the fear. You have to. Don't pretend it's not there, just name it. Second, hold your anchor. That means actively, consciously connecting with those core beliefs we talked about. And third, and this one is maybe the most important, just chart a path for the very next right step. Forget the entire journey. Just focus on what you can do right now. That's how you make the overwhelming feel manageable again. So, what does it actually feel like when you do this? What's the real result of being anchored when you're in a storm? Let's take a look. I mean, look at the difference here. It's night and day. On one side, without an anchor, you've got panic, confusion, despair, that feeling of being totally lost. But on the other side, with an anchor, you find calm, you find clarity, you find hope, you feel grounded. The storm outside hasn't changed one bit, but your entire inner world has transformed. And I want to be really, really clear about something. This isn't some magic trick. Anchoring yourself doesn't make the storm just disappear. What it means is that you find your stillness inside of it. It's about finding that calm center in the middle of all the chaos. And that shift is just incredibly powerful. Every storm, it does eventually pass. So as we start to wrap this up, let's lift our eyes up from the waves for a second and look toward the promise of the shore, toward what lies beyond the immediate challenge. So if you take away just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Faith doesn't stop the storms from coming, but it gives you that unshakable anchor you need to ride them out. It's not about preventing the storm. It's about enduring it. So I'll just leave you with this one question. The next storm, it will come. That's pretty much a guarantee. So the only real question is, when it gets here, what anchor will you hold on to? What's going to keep you grounded? And that really is a question that only you can answer.